Hi YouTube, Martin here, and I've decided to buy a Tesla, and I'd like to record or give you a heads up on the process that I've taken to start buying a Tesla. I'm an average guy. I've got 7 years left of employment left before I retire, so therefore I better buy something big now before I become a fixed income. So, just like all of you, or just about anyone that starts wanting to get an interest in a Tesla, the first thing you do is you hit YouTube and you binge watch hundreds and hundreds of episodes on Tesla. There's so many amazing YouTubers out there, a whole whack in the States, but for me, there's a couple in Canada that I watch them. Uh, because it's more relative to do with the Canadian dollar and the climate and service, etc., etc. So focused on the Canadian guys. So this is what I have done up to date, and I'd like you to come and join me with this trip on getting a Tesla. So the first thing I did, like I said, I hit YouTube and I've watched hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of YouTube videos on what Tesla's like and all about it. And I've now committed that this is something that I want to do. How does one start the process? So the first thing I did, of course, is I went to the Tesla Canada webpage, and at the top it says new models. And I thought, nope, I can't afford a $125,000, $150,000 car. If you can, well done for you. If you're like the rest of the population, no, you can't. So good for you. So I clicked over to the right, and it's the used models. And in there, on the Canadian site, you know, the first car started at $66,000. It was a 2013, and then it goes all the way up to like $140,000 pre-owned 100D. Or I didn't go that far because why? You know, why? So one of the side notes here, and you'll see that I'm all over the place, and it's not because of an ADD or OCD, maybe that, but it's I'm not a great editor. I'm not a great YouTuber. So me trying to cut and edit and splice, I don't do that. This is just a one-time boom. This is what you're going to get. Maybe in later videos when I start YouTubing how to edit a YouTube show, that whatever. That's later. So what I did notice is that I did log on to the USA, or Tesla USA. And I went to their site and I went to their used inventory, and holy smokes, there's hundreds of used or pre-owned Teslas on their Tesla USA site. Starting at like $40,000, $45,000 for an S series. Like holy smokes. Ranging up, of course, to, well, I didn't go to page 9 because I can't afford anything off page 2. So, entry level 2013s going for 40,000, 45,000 American dollars, and I thought, oh, I'm going to be excited. This is fantastic. So I go to the Canadian site, and boom, they start at 65,000 for a 2013. So you can tell there's a huge difference. There's more Teslas in the States. There's not as many in Canada, so they can charge. Another thing I noticed is that you can't import a US Tesla into Canada. And I find that kind of shocking because I've done that with 2 cars and a motorcycle when the American dollar was pretty much par. Of course, go down south and buy these big ticket items because you're saving so much money. But yeah, apparently Elon is not allowing his US cars to come up into Canada. Maybe that's to support the Canadian market. Meh, okay, fantastic, that's great. So you have to, if you're a Canadian, you have to buy a Canadian Tesla, I think. Well, actually I know, because that's what the almighty internet told me. So I digress. Here we go. So what did it take? So I did look on the Canadian pre-owned used Tesla site, and like I said, the first one started at 66,000 and goes up from there. And I didn't want a 2013. Here's me being very snobby. I didn't want a first generation. A lot of the YouTube videos say that, they're all beautiful and fantastic cars. However, You know, there's the facelift and autopilot 1 and 2 and all that kind of stuff. So I didn't want to get a 2013 or so, and so what I did is I started looking middle range, you know, 2015 maybe, autopilot 1. So I went to the used Tesla Canada site, and I saw that there was that one there that I you know, I kind of liked, but I didn't understand all the options, and then I'm trying to Google the options. So I thought, you know what, my parents live in Vancouver, and when I go down to Vancouver to visit them, which is last weekend, I'll just pop into the Vancouver Tesla shop and see what they have, and maybe get one of those guys to help me. So walked in, and they had an X and an S there in the showroom, and like, holy smokes, this is the first time I've actually been able to touch one. I've seen them on the street, I've seen them parked. I've always, you know, I didn't really want to go up and sort of look through the window and all that kind of stuff, or touch it. So yeah, I think I spent about half an hour before I even engaged one of the customer salesmen, the customer reps. So then finally one of the customer reps was sort of we made eye contact, and I just started talking to him, saying, this is what I'm in the market for. I can't afford a new one. However, one of the pre-owned CPOs, I've heard you must get a CPO through Tesla. Don't buy it off Craigslist from Jimmy Tesla Sales or whatever. Get it from the actual dealership, because their CPOs, which is certified pre-owns, they once you commit to buying, or not commit, once you show an interest in buying the CPO, they go bumper to bumper, fine tooth comb, and it's almost like buying a brand new Tesla, it being a CPO. So so I started talking to him, and I showed him the car that I was looking at on the used inventory, and he, you know, he didn't try to upsell me, and I do appreciate that. So for all my involvement with the Tesla sales reps, customer reps, is that they're not. If you buy now, I can do that. They're not the typical car salesman, right? So this is what I've experienced. They're very helpful. What can I do for you? Do you have any questions? This is what it looked like, and all that kind of stuff. And they were brilliant. So he showed me. He says, look, I don't really know about the pre-owned stuff. We have a specialist in Western Canada by the name of Kelly who does that in Western Canada, and he's off right now, but he'll be back next week, and you know, you should talk to him. However, I can answer a lot of your questions, but I'm not the guru when it comes to pre-owned. I can help you with the new stuff, and just to show you, and he showed me buttons. This is what it would cost to get an entry-level 2018, and I don't want to say it was out of reach, but it was in the uncomfortable part. Like, I could afford it. I could have got a 2018 base model S, you know, 19-inch rims, like the base model, without clicking on. The only thing it would have clicked on is the Autopilot 2, which is a $6,000 option. But yes, it was manageable to afford it, but it was up there into almost an uncomfortable zone. So he says, you know what, that's fantastic. You know, contact Kelly on Monday. So Monday comes along, and I make contact with Kelly, who's the Western Canadian pre-owned inventory guy, and talked to him on the phone. It sounded like I haven't met him yet. I've only talked to him on the phone, and sounds like a great guy. Like, so he asked me about four or five questions about what am I looking for, what do you care about, what do you not care about. Because what he did say is that, yes, what us as consumers can see on the Tesla Canada webpage is a small percentage of the actual cars they have in inventory. So my recommendation to you is that, yeah, it's great to click on and look at their pre-owned stuff on their website, but refresh it hourly, because those cars sell hourly. However, if you make contact with a sales rep, a pre-owned or used inventory sales rep, he has everything available in Canada at his computer. So a lot of stuff that he has is not even listed on the consumer side. So he asked me 5 questions. What are you looking for? What size? Does it matter about this? Do you care about moonroof, sunroof, and all that kind of stuff? And all my answers were, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. All I want is the biggest bang for the buck. I want him to take a look at this car as a Tesla sales rep and go, holy smokes, if I needed a Tesla, this is the one that I would buy. Then phone me up and say, hey, this car's available. And you know, does that make sense to you? I hope it does. Is that I'm more interested in getting a really good car at a good price, at a fair price, with some pretty good options. And so anyway, so within half an hour of this conversation with him, he sent me an email showing, listing 3 cars that are within my, and none of these 3 cars were on the Tesla consumer used car that you could look at. Here are cars that are available in Canada, and here's the prices, here's the breakdown, here's the mileage, and all that kind of stuff. So he sent me that email. I opened up the attachment, and I tried to go through it. And being as a new guy, I don't get some of the things that like premium interior and lighting. Like, what does that mean, right? What is that in premier lighting? Does that mean it's got? Well, no, they all. Anyway, so I had to phone him back and say, like, some of these things I don't understand. Like, what does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? So he answered all my questions. What a brilliant guy, and I haven't actually physically met him face to face yet. So I told him, okay, number 2, it's got 50,000 kilometers on it. It's this price. It's an 85D, beautiful blue with a white leather interior. Is this a good deal? Is this a good car? And he wrote me back and saying, well, yeah, out of the 3, this is the one that draws me. There was one that was more expensive. There was one that was less expensive. But this one in the middle has a great price and a great options package. And it's in Ontario. So I said, okay, well, if you think it's a good one, well, let's start the process to at least get it here and look at it. He says, well, first off, you need to put $1,000 down to hold the car. Secondly, because it's out back east, it's going to cost you $2,000 to bring it out to Vancouver, but I will share that cost with you. So there's another $1,000. So $2,000. So I gave him my credit card, put $2,000 down on it, and so this is last week. So I don't know where the car is now, and I'm not going to phone him up every minute. Hey, where's my car? And so $2,000 down, and then we started the process online. Created the My Tesla account. Clicked on there's 5 things you need to do on there. Copy of the driver's license, and it's not a tough thing to do. I'm computer illiterate and YouTube illiterate and GoPro illiterate, which you will soon find out. And it wasn't that hard for me. So, long story short, not really, it's a long story long, because the processing to get financing approved through Tesla Canada, it goes down to Tesla USA in California, a guy there, a financial guy, who works through Royal Bank of Canada. So Tesla Vancouver contacts Tesla California, who contacts Tesla or Royal Bank of Canada to approve. Anyway, so that's, to make a long story shorter, is that on Friday financing got approved. So this is where we're at now. I've put the $2,000 down. I'm not going to talk about finances and dollars and all that kind of stuff, because everyone's different. If you have, like I said, if you got the $100,000 to spend on a car, fantastic, good on you. But if you're a regular working stiff like me, limited budget, then this is what's going to happen. So please join me through this process of buying a pre-owned Tesla or a used Tesla. A CPO Tesla is very important. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that kind of stuff, because I'd like you to join me through the journey of buying a pre-owned Tesla. So as you can tell, that I'm not a great YouTuber, I'm not very techy, so I don't know how to edit videos. So this will be a one-off, like full click from start to end. I'm going to lean forward and turn off the camera. If you don't see that, it means I figured out how to cut the video. If you do see it, it means that I just don't know anything. So please join me on this trip of a regular working staff buying a Tesla S, and should be a lot of fun. And I think I want to put out lots of videos, because there's things that I searched YouTube for that I couldn't find, and I want to put that out there just to help everyone. So yeah, my name is Martin, and join me on my trip on getting a 2015 Tesla S. 85, 85D. I'm getting all the terminology. Cheers. Take care. Bye.